Hello, welcome to another Yoga with Tins Yoga Bite. Today we're going to have a look at one of the main seated positions that people have heard of when it comes to yoga, and also one of the most difficult, especially for Westerners, because our knees and our ankles don't tend to like to move in the way that's required of them. So this is the Lotus pose or Padmasana. I've got a couple of blocks here which can be used as props for some parts of the pose just to make it easier and more accessible. So first of all, we're going to have a look at the half lotus. So what you're going to do is you're going to bring your left heel quite close into the groin area, and you want to be pushing your knee down. Now, in order to come into this, you don't want to be just throwing your legs into it. You need to rotate the knee in the correct way. So you want to bend the leg up and then rotate outwards so that there's no twist in that knee. Often, if your legs aren't used to moving in these directions, if you just come straight into this, you'll be twisting that knee. So rather than bringing it up and then rotating the hip outwards, you'll be trying to twist the knee outwards. So always bring the leg up and then down, aiming to get that knee as close to the floor as you possibly can. Then doing the same with the opposite leg, up and then out. You're going to take your right foot, you're going to take hold of the right foot, and where the muscle seam is on your leg, so if you bring your fingers up, you'll be able to feel that muscle seam right at the top of the leg. That's where you want your foot. You want the outside edge of the foot to sit onto that seam, and then the sole of your foot points upwards towards the ceiling. You want to be aiming the knee towards the floor, and this is where you might want to have a yoga block or a blanket to allow your knee to rest on something. You might find this is quite intense on that ankle, especially if you're not used to doing this pose, because again, it is twisting that ankle in a way that it's not used to doing. So just hold this pose for as long as is comfortable for you. This is one of the poses that once you get used to it, you can hold it for a long time. You can hold it for as long as you want to. In the beginning, it will be too uncomfortable to do that, so just breathe into it and just hold it for as long as is comfortable for you. And then once you need to come out of it, you take hold of the ankle, you lift your foot up, you stretch your legs out, and you're going to swap the legs around and do the opposite side. So again, bringing the right leg in this time, then the left leg, you're looking for that same place on the leg, that joint where you feel the muscle dipping in. That's where you want the outer edge of the left foot to be coming, and the heel should be on the actual pubic bone itself, so it should be round about the centre of that pubic bone. And you might find that one side's easier to get into than the other, and you may also find that on one side your knees come a lot lower than they did on the other side. If your knees are coming down to the floor, it means that your ankle is more comfortable, your foot's in the correct position. So all of these things will help that knee come down to the floor. Again, the sole of the foot is facing upwards. The opposite foot is just sitting in the crease of the leg. And you might find, as I said, that one side is easier than the other. You might find that one side is more difficult to get into, but once you're in it, the ankle feels more comfortable. So it's just working with the pose, working, relaxing, breathing into it, and just holding for as long as it's comfortable for you. If it starts to hurt, come straight out of it. It shouldn't be painful. A little bit of discomfort is fine if you can breathe into it. You don't want to be tensing, you don't want to be rounding or folding forwards. To relieve it, your spine wants to stay nice and straight. It is designed as a meditative pose, so your back, your shoulders, everything wants to be nice, relaxed, so that you could close your eyes and come into a meditative state in this pose. So again, taking hold of the ankle to come out of the pose, and then we're going to go into the full lotus. So my right ankle doesn't actually like this pose very much, but we're going to try and do it. So starting off as you did for the half lotus, but you're going to bring the foot out. So the bottom foot is going to come out and then you can take the bottom foot up. And the idea is that both feet should be sitting on the hip joints, the same place as they were for the half pose. As I said, my right ankle doesn't like that very much, so I struggle to get into it on that side. Once you've done the one side, you should then always change the cross and come to the opposite side. So you might find when you're doing this that actually the top of the foot is more intense, so it pulls along the top edge of the foot here because your skin is pulling against each other. So what you can do to bring yourself into the pose more slowly is start off by having your opposite foot lower down and the knee on a block. If your knee's not on a block, your foot tends to slip off. Put your knee on a block and then gradually move the foot up, but be really careful with the ankle. Be careful not to put the foot somewhere where the ankle is twisting too much or feels like it's bending in the wrong place. So having it on the groove between the leg is fine, having it up there is fine, having it in the middle could cause problems. Having the blocks while you're in the half lotus and then blankets and gradually working the knees down is a good idea. Don't start going into the full lotus until you can do the half lotus on both sides comfortably. Hold it for a reasonable amount of time and have the knees on the floor. Hope this has been helpful and informative. Namaste.